If it keeps going up like this, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do because my wages aren't rising, but my bills keep rising.
Paige Shallow's winter power bills ranged from $350 to $400.
$362.98.
Now, even in warmer months, she's paying about $50 more than previous years.
Donald Trump is rapidly losing his base. All 55 counties in West Virginia voted for Donald Trump. And now when you get on their socials, they're posting their electric bills. They're saying they have to choose between food and paying their electric bills. They're demanding answers from Donald Trump. Small businesses are actually closing shop because they can't afford to pay their monthly electric bill. One disabled woman who voted for Trump got an electric bill for $940 last month, more than her disability check. Some of the comments Trump voters are making, it's breaking me. Every time I see my energy bill, I'm just sick. All I heard was drill, baby, drill. Well, where's the drilling? And indeed, nationwide, energy prices went up 4.8% in February, and natural piped gas went up 10.9%. And according to a Gallup poll just taken in March, 35% of Americans are severely concerned about how they're going to pay for their electric bills next month. I really wish somebody had warned them what would happen.
West Virginia, we did it. We are ranked number 1 in utility costs. Can somebody tell me how in the world West Virginia, with all the fresh water, all the coal we sit on top of, can be the number 1 costliest state for utilities? How can that be? I need somebody to explain to me how it can be possible that we pay more than Alaska and Hawaii for our utilities. What's going on in West Virginia?
Well. And welcome to another day in the United States of fuck this place. Baby, where it's clear to see the Red Hat crew in red states all across the US of A got played in a major kind of way. There's a FAFO in the brew. Yes, indeed. Allow me to pour it for you. Sing it with me, baby. West Virginia, mountain mama, can't heat her home. She decided to vote and let the pedos roam. The pedo in chief promised to cut electric cost in half. Bills in energy-rich West Virginia now top mortgages. You see, the pedo-in-chief convinced the people of West Virginia that coal was king. And that may be true in Virginia, but one thing he did not mention, dear, is that coal king wears an expensive, pricey crown. Just like the orange clown. The state is an outlier nationwide because of its stubborn resistance to adopting cleaner, cheaper sources of energy, such as nuclear power and natural gas, even though it's one of the nation's top producers and renewables like solar and wind. Instead, West Virginia clings to the aging coal-fired electric plants more than anywhere else in the country, about 87% of all production. Its supermajority Republican-led government, there are only about 11 Democrats in the House and Senate, has doubled down on its reliance, blaming past Democratic administrations for a war on coal fueled by increased federal regulations and restrictions, while the pedo-in-chief poses for photo ops with coal miners at the White House and regularly touts, coal is king, without mentioning it was going to cost the people of West Virginia, baby. Their energy bills have increased like 900%.
West Virginia MAGA voters are now in frustration after their utility bills go high even more than their mortgages. This is something that they never expected. This is something that they never voted for. This is not what they were promised. Let's get to watch the rest of the videos and I'll be right back. And I'll be giving my 2 cents in regards to this. As you get to watch these videos, please let me know what are your thoughts concerning all this down in the comment section. Hype the video, share the video to a like-minded person, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more great content like this.
Every county in West Virginia went red in 2024 based on the promise of having their energy bills cut in half. Fast forward to today, and people are paying more for the utilities than their mortgage. As an example, one woman had an electric bill, just the electric bill, at $940. People are literally shutting themselves in rooms with just one space heater and turning heat off to the rest of their houses so that they don't have to pay these crazy bills, but they're still through the roof. It is hard as somebody with a level of sympathy and empathy to want to just cast these people out and say that's what you voted for. But in the same breath, this is what you voted for. You cannot tell me otherwise. The man who said he was going to cut your bills in half is a serial con man. And he said, drill, baby, drill, but you're not seeing the results because he's a professional liar. I feel for the people of West Virginia. I feel for the people that are suffering, but my give a damn is also busted. This ruby red state is paying the absolute price.
Keep in mind that West Virginia went 70% for the malignant man-child. 70%. Okay? This just came out yesterday from the Associated Press. Here's what's going on in West Virginia right now.
$1,218.67. Yeah, for one building.
The rising cost of utilities definitely does have some effect on the reason we're going to just under one roof.
After we went through our first year, we looked at the electric bill, we looked at the rent, we realized we were not going to make enough money. So we had to raise the rent. And that was what started a lot of the rift with the West Virginians, that we were going to have to raise the rent when they'd had camping the same way for so many years.
You're getting $1,300 to $1,500 bills for electric. And West Virginia has decided that they're going to run on coal for at least 2040. You don't have a choice when it comes to electric and water. And so, you can't decide to just not have electric for that month. We're seeing businesses lock up, businesses are closing.
I try to stay so positive and look towards the future, and bigger plans. But sometimes it's just so sad, walking down there, seeing it.
From here down was counters. I had an ice cream freezer, and then I had my bakery case.
I was getting ready. Like I had a bunch of stuff made up and everything, and was getting ready for Valentine's Day, because holidays were $700 to $1,000 days. So I would have had the money if I could have just got 2 days, just 2 days. We closed down on the 12th. The electric being so high made me struggle on pretty much everything else. Once I got behind, it was like I could not dig out of that hole. And every time I would pay a big lump sum, then the next bill would come in and it would be even higher. We're in the Antique Mall, Ravenswood Antique Mall. And we are coming back to my booth where I'm going to have some of my baked goods. At one point, I had 5 employees. 3 lost their jobs the day that I closed, because I was down to 3 for the winter because I knew. And we lost our only source of income at that time.
14 months ago, we opened up this small gallery here, which is only 1,900 square feet. We just love it here. But the problem is we're getting really beat up with the high energy costs. This small gallery, I keep the temperature down kind of low, and I'm still paying $700, $800 a month. The power company, I've called several times, and I told them, look, I'm a senior citizen, I'm 71, I'm an artist, and I have a gallery, and I'm trying to help the community. Is there any program that can help us to help our community? She says, I'm sorry, we really don't have that. And
your rent for the commercial space here is how much?
It's only $600. It's $150 to $200 less than my power bill.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
I find it fascinating that, they go and they give him a trophy saying he's the friend of a coal miner. Our coal miners are dying of black lung. They don't have clean water. They can't feed their children. Their schools are closing. Their electric bills are through the roof, and they can't afford groceries. Where's the trophy for us?
We are energy rich. I mean, they come through, tore up our land. We kept hearing, we're going to do the coal mines, the coal mines, the coal mines. I love the current administration, but what about the coal mines? If they're digging, baby, digging, I don't see it here. I've had to close down 2 stores because I can't afford rent. You have a gas bill, you have an electricity bill, you have water bill, you have sewer bill, okay? I can't afford all that plus pay $2,000 a month rent. Your utility bills are more than your rent is. And we are a red state. I don't want us to be the left behind state anymore, I guess I should say.
Everybody says we need them. We need little bakeries. We need all these little small businesses, but then they're the ones that get hit the hardest.
Well, howdy, friends. I'm going to vent a little bit today. I'm going to vent about the water company. I got my water bill yesterday, and guess what? Thought I had a water leak when I looked at that price on the bill. Almost $50, y'all. That's crazy. When I first got city water, it was like $28 or $29. Now we're looking almost $50 a month. What are we going to do, y'all?
While most of the attention has been on electricity, data centers are also draining our water supplies at an alarming rate. The servers that power AI generate enormous amounts of heat. To keep the chips from overheating and getting damaged, data centers use evaporative cooling systems that consume massive quantities of water. The new chips like NVIDIA's Blackwell use far more electricity than previous generations, which means that they need even more cooling. Data centers can use more water to avoid running electric cooling systems, or they can use more electricity to reduce water consumption. Most choose water because it's cheaper. Researchers at UC Riverside found that every 20 to 50 questions you ask, ChatGPT consumes roughly half a liter of water. Globally, ChatGPT alone uses an estimated 39 million gallons of water per day. A single large data center can consume up to 5 million gallons of water per day. That's equivalent to the daily needs of a town of 50,000 people. In Northern Virginia, home to the world's largest cluster of data centers, facilities consumed nearly 2 billion gallons in 2023, a 63% increase from just 4 years earlier. Projections show that water use from data centers could increase by 870% as more facilities come online.
Okay, so I'm a little pissed off here in Virginia. So I got my electric bill this month and it has doubled. And I was like, wait, what happened? I didn't do anything different. So I started doing a little research and asking some of my friends, hey, did yours double? And they were like, oh yeah, check this out. This guy's like, oh yeah, mine's now $700 a month. This other person, yeah, mine went up 45%. The other people, they basically doubled. And so I'm like, wait, I didn't even know there was going to be a rate hike. So I did a little research and sure enough, Virginia Power was like, hey, don't worry, there's going to be a rate hike, but don't worry. It's only going to be like $11 a family. And so I'm like, you lied. And then I was like, I wonder what this rate hike was for. So then I did a little more research and they're like, oh, we need new poles and labor costs have gone up and so has fuel costs. Fuel costs have gone down. But the most alarming thing to me was they had mentioned that with all of the new data centers in Virginia, it basically drained the system and they need to upgrade it. So first of all, I want to ask who the frig is letting all these data centers in to drain the American public's wallets? And secondly, why are we forced to pay double an electric bill for these data centers that are here? And then I was like, gee, I wonder if Virginia Power is really hurting for money, that they needed to raise everyone's rate, not $11, but double. And so I did a little quick research. And guess what? Just in Q3 alone for 2025, guess how much they made? They made $1 billion net profit. So can somebody please friggin' tell me why this cost is always funneled down to the hardworking American taxpayer? This shit has got to stop. I am so tired of being a human. It should not be this expensive to live. And I don't know who makes these decisions, but it is reckless.
Hey, so starting next year, if you're a Dominion Energy customer, that's where you get your electricity in Virginia, your electricity bill may be going up. The SCC in Virginia approved rate increases, so this means you might be paying more than $11 on your electrical bill starting next year, and a little more than $2 on top of that the following year.
There are people coming in and showing that their bill is now double. So not only are you paying for the actual bill, you're paying for what you're using, you're paying on what they got to use to supply shit to you. You got to pay for the poles, wires. There's no cost that comes out of their pocket. They're making you pay for why? Just for vibes. As a business, do you not think you're going to lose customers? Here's the problem. Dominion has a monopoly on energy in Virginia. You can't lose customers as Dominion because there is no other power source in Virginia. Get some solar energy. We're going to make sure y'all got batteries. Get some panels. Thanks, Spanberg.
Sounds like last year there was a pretty significant rate increase in Virginia. And that rate increase went into effect in 2026. And now, ironically, they got this great big huge bomb cyclone that's about to really affect that whole East Coast with cold weather, snow that typically isn't what they have there. But a lot of people are complaining about those electricity bills. And a lot of people are complaining that those rate increases are basically costing more than car payments and house payments And I just think that it would be a very opportune time, regardless of who's in command now or who's in charge now of the state of Virginia. Maybe you can give those people a break. I don't think that, thinking through this like, oh, it's the Republicans' fault or oh, it's the Democrats' fault is the answer. Because in the end, it's us everyday average citizens who foot that bill.
I just got my energy bill for the month. Dominion Energy out of Virginia. My bill has tripled. Like, I usually pay about $200, on a regular, $300 on a high note. $621. That's more than my car payment. What the actual hell is going on?
Virginia electric bills have been climbing like crazy. Over the last 5 years, electric rates have increased by about 30%. From 2024 to 2025, rates have increased by about 8 to 13%, which is noticeably steeper than inflation in some periods. This is especially felt in the Appalachian Power Territories. But who is in charge of approving these rate increases? The SCC, in other words, the Virginia State Corporation Commission. But voters do have a big impact overall. Voters elect the General Assembly. The General Assembly elects the commissioners of the SCC. The SCC regulates Dominion's rates. Also, unfortunately, Dominion Energy basically has a legalized monopoly in our state. We don't have the luxury to shop around, so it's all the more crucial we vote in leaders who actually represent our priorities. Only about 40 to 55% of Virginia citizens actually vote for state elections. About half the state stays home on election day, and we all wonder why nothing changes. You don't vote on electric rates directly, but your vote decides who controls the system that sets them.
These stories show that a deeper sense of disillusionment is taking shape, raising questions about expectations, outcomes, and what comes next. Are these isolated frustrations or signs of a broader shift within the MAGA movement? Stay with us as more Americans share their experiences and perspectives.
From last year, what it was, but in February, and then this, you go, what happened?
January 2025, she spent $352. A year later, it's a $694 price tag, almost double.
I can't afford this. I don't have that kind of money.
Stroud uses solar energy and heats her home with a heat pump, but does not have an auxiliary that bumps up the cost when the cold weather arrives.
It can't get out of whack. Something like that really, takes away anything else. Plus, at the beginning of the year, I have my medications and stuff. Is this what we're going to be looking at for the rest of the year and from now on out? If it is, there's going to be a lot of elderly people that can't afford it. A $300 jump or a $400 jump, that hurts us. That means we have to cut out something else.
Something to me is just not making sense. Every single electric bill I'm getting is looking like this. This is how all my electric bills are looking. How is it humanly possible that I was using 1,500 and less kilowatts every single month in 2025, 2024, and 2023? But somehow I'm using 5,000 kilowatts of energy now in 5,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000 the last 4 months? Something doesn't make sense, bro. And every time I call Dominion Energy, they tell me that I'm tripping. I need somebody to help me understand how a human can use 5,000 kilowatts when I'm never home. Never home. I don't use TV. I don't use heat. I don't understand.
Just come down the road a while ago, I was thinking about my electric bill last month. $521. That's crazy. Got a friend, 1,021, another friend was 880 something. How do these people pay these big electric bills? I don't know how these people on fixed income pay these big electric bills. Honest to goodness. And these utility companies, I guess, you think we got money just falling out of our pockets. It's insane.
So AEP sent me an email saying that my electric bill is projected to be $817. Yeah. There's no way I can afford that. I'm broke. Because of Christmas, my kid's birthday, I ain't got no money. Definitely not $817 to pay the electric bill.
So, I don't normally get on here and say a lot, but I'm an aggravated woman right now. My power bill is almost $900 and I have the typical home as most West Virginians do. You put plastic up over your windows and your doors and blankets, and you close off half of your home. And still, my power bill from Black Diamond Power in West Virginia is $864. And I understand that we had really crazy temperatures, but also on top of that, my power bill was $280 last month. How in the hell did it get to almost $900 in 1 month? Lord help me.
Anyone else feel like they're getting ripped off by Dominion Energy? This is another one of my properties. Walking up here, you can see the work being done. You got the dumpsters out. This bill came in $600 and some dollars. I just want to show you the property, and you tell me, is there any chance that this bill is $600 and some dollars? I'm going to walk around the outside just to show you that there's no HVAC unit. See, look this way. Absolutely nothing. Look this way. Absolutely nothing. All right, here I am standing at the other corner. If you look down this way, no HVAC. In fact, there's a pad where the HVAC used to be. You can look this way. No HVAC. In fact, you can see all this extra work I'm doing. Oh, yeah. Look, it's wide open. Oh, yeah. Let me come to the back of the house and just show you it's an active construction site here. So let me do this without tripping. But look at this. It's wide open, right? So, of course, there's no HVAC. There's no electricity. It's all turned off. It's literally off. How in the world is my electric bill $600 and some dollars? I'm now inside the property. Look at the flooring, look at the shell. I'm going to try and get over on this board here. I'm literally standing in the middle of the kitchen, and look all around. You can even see outside. It's an absolute empty shell. There's no tenants here. There's no HVAC running. There's no lights on. There's no anything. There's no appliances. They'll be behind me here shortly. There's literally nothing. There are no utilities in this house. Nothing. There's not even walls or doors. There's nothing. This is mid-construction, and there's no way this should be over $600.
One of the most frustrating expenses to budget for in Virginia right now is my power bill. As someone who budgets every month, I try to treat all of my bills as fixed expenses. Mortgage, insurance, phone, internet, those numbers are pretty predictable. Utilities are supposed to work the same way. You expect them to fluctuate a little bit, but not throw off your whole budget. And right now that's tough because the cost of living is already high. Groceries are up, housing is up, and childcare is expensive. So when something like your power bill suddenly jumps, it doesn't just affect that one bill, it affects the entire household budget. This is why stable energy costs matter so much for families in Virginia. Local clean energy is already helping to keep costs steadier, which is making it easier for people to actually plan their monthly finances. And as electricity demand grows, especially from things like data centers, households shouldn't be the one absorbing all those costs. Power bills affect everything in the household budget. What would more stable energy costs mean for your household here in Virginia?
What's up, America? AI data centers to now be metered like a utility. Yes, that's the horseshit information we're learning about these data centers that are being built all over the nation. That when it's all said and done, this is going to be a metered utility, and you're going to be paying for AI services whether you use it or not. So power companies across the nation are set to start charging you an AI data center fee. This will be anywhere between $8 and $20 a month, depending on where you are. But in the higher concentrations of data center locations like Virginia, you could pay an extra $200 to $300 a month for your utility bills. So not only are you paying for the data centers because companies that use AI are raising their costs and they're passing it on to you, but you're also paying the electricity, the added cost, and you're paying for the water usage, which is very high.
If you're from West Virginia like I am, I say we all follow each other because nobody can pay their power bill because Mon Power is screwing. They're raking our asses over the coals. So if we all follow each other and start making money on TikTok, maybe we can afford our power bills. And buy groceries.
You know what pisses me off? This is what pisses me off. AEP has a nerve to say that we use $1,200 worth of power to live in a house. Just have heat and some little bit of electric for me, my fiance, and our 2 kids. One of the children is here with us part-time. We're never here because we're too busy running the activities for the freaking kids. Do you want to charge us $1,300 to live here? $1,200 just to power this place. I'm about to turn the damn power off outside myself and get some candles, and our idea of entertainment's going to be shadow puppets on the wall of the candlelight.
So West Virginia had 2 articles that came out December 29th. Let me tell you what they said. They said we pay the highest utility cost in the nation. Yeah. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. They also say that we have the highest 0% reported earned income. We have 34% of us that don't report any income. So the poorest state in the country pays the highest utility bills.
So I need recommendations for attorneys, I guess. I live in southern West Virginia in a little town called Dainese. It's in Fett County. I've been going round and round with Appalachian Power for a couple years now for extremely high electricity bills. They have a monopoly here, so you pay it or you don't have power. I tag them on Facebook literally like every month when I get my bill. They swear nothing's wrong. We updated our house completely, 100%, even outside and inside electrical. Had to pass an inspection. Well, we bought another house last month, and one of the cells on it was the way lower power bills. Like I'm talking like 150 to like 380, and I'm like, heck yeah. Well, they made me pay $143 security deposit. After I paid that, it was like, oh, well, you owe an old bill of like 300 and some. And okay, so I have to pay that. It was like $509 altogether. Well, then I get a bill. It's like for $148, and I thought that was like the first month's electricity. Until I get another bill in the mail, and it was $1,145. I was like, what the shit? Like nobody lives there. We've had so much snow and ice, like haven't been able to move. So I call, and I even called the Public Service Commission, and they were like, oh, well, maybe something's broke, blah, 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 blah. Like literally no help at all. Not to mention this house that we currently live in, I just got a bill of $919. So I contacted my bank and asked them to go back as far as they could for my Appalachian Power payments. They were only able to go back to February of 2024. They said if I wanted them to go back further, it was like $25 an hour, which is crazy. It's City National Bank of West Virginia, by the way, which is crazy to me. But so since February of 24, and it is just turned March of 26, I have paid $12,257.92. Not to mention the $1,145 and then the $919. That's a total of $2,060.68. So by the time I pay that, we're going to be at $14,318.20. I can't do it.
I'm really so confused about something. I do not know how AEP in West Virginia is getting away with doing what they are doing to their customers. My bill has been nothing compared to the other people I've talked to. Literally $1,000 or over dollars for a bill for 1 month. My bill was almost $500 last month. This month, it was literally more than last month because who knows why? But I know for a fact when I got my bill last month, I made sure to turn off heaters, to turn off everything to make sure my bill was less than it was. And it ended up being more. It's literally not fair that they hike their prices up when the weather is cold. Because I know I used less this month than last month. And I'm going to be absolutely so mad if it's higher this month because we have literally cut down so much, like we're being cost effective, covering up if we're warm, like trying to do our best to keep the bill down. And I have a feeling it's going to be high, just as high as it was last month. And how? AEP, if you hear this, let me know how this works because it's not fair. It's not fair. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the United States, and you're literally hitting us over the head.
Meet Rebecca Michalski, hailing from the state of West Virginia. And right now, Rebecca, along with many other people from West Virginia, are facing a crisis. And that crisis is astronomically high electricity bills. For example, Rebecca lives on a fixed income, but in February, her electricity bill was $940.08. It's gotten so bad that she's even taken out a personal loan to try to pay off the bills. Rebecca says, quote, "Every time you see that power bill, you're just sick," as she rifles through a stack of statements totaling thousands of dollars.
West Virginia has the highest utility bills out of any state in the nation. According to a report from Move.org, West Virginia has the #1 highest utility bills out of all 50 states. According to that report, West Virginians pay the highest water bills in the United States at an average of $121 per month, where the national average sits at around $49 per month. Now, mind you, the majority of West Virginians do not have safe, clean drinking water. Our electricity, natural gas, water, and sewer rates have all taken a hike in the last year. Mind you, our politicians are wanting to stick AI data centers in our state that are only going to increase the rates of our electricity and water bills. And guess what? The quality of our water still ain't going to get better.
Your electric bill isn't just electricity, or data centers as they'd like you to believe. It's profits. Investor-owned utilities keep about 15% of your overall bill for just profit. So if you pay $200 a month, $30 of that bill goes directly to investors. Not power, not repairs, not workers, just profit. And it's rising. It was at 13%, but now it's closer to 15%. But here in Virginia, aka Dominion Power, it is 16%. Believe it or not, some companies are way higher, like Florida Power and Light and Mid-American Energy. They are at 27%. Meanwhile, bills are going up, shutoffs are increasing, and you can't switch providers. Why is that? Because utilities like Dominion Energy are regulated monopolies. That means they are guaranteed customers and they are guaranteed profits that are set by regulators. Here's the wild part. Over time, you don't just pay for the infrastructure, but you pay it back twice. Once for cost, and again through profit over decades. The top institutional investor for Dominion Power may or may not surprise you, but you might be a little angry by the end of this. You're a Virginia Beach local, coming back at you. Let's get into it, shall we? Dominion Power is primarily owned by institutional investors who collectively hold about 73 to 84% of the company's outstanding shares. Only 0.12% are held by insiders, and we will get into that in part 3. Now back to the institutions. There are 1,825 institutions that are currently holding shares in Dominion Power. But here are the top 10. Vanguard is coming in at 12.19% of ownership and BlackRock at 9.15% ownership. BlackRock is publicly owned by its shareholders, whereas Vanguard is owned by its investors. The top companies that own Vanguard are Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. And get this, Vanguard is the biggest owner of BlackRock. Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, in a way, run Vanguard, which controls BlackRock, and together they own over 20% of Dominion Energy. These tech companies aren't just investing in power companies, but they're also using it to power their data centers. Running all these servers costs a fortune, so buying stakes in energy companies like Dominion gives them the ability to lock in costs. In short, they're racking up the energy bills and setting themselves up to profit. It's a massive web, but it all starts with these big tech companies.
If it keeps going up like this, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do because my wages aren't rising, but my bills keep rising.
Paige Shallow's winter power bills ranged from $350 to $400.
$362.98.
Now, even in warmer months, she's paying about $50 more than previous years.
Which is pretty significant. $50 a month is absolutely not nothing.
For a single mom of 2, that $50 matters. Shallow says she does everything she can to conserve, but it's still high.
We've heard from so many people around Virginia that they're having real problems paying those bills. They're having to choose between paying their electric bill or another bag of groceries or what bills they're going to pay. So it was really important to look at, what's going on here.
That's what Clean Virginia Executive Director Brennan Gilmore says they wanted to find out. A new Clean Virginia report says Dominion energy bills are rising faster than inflation. The report points to 4 main causes: outdated regulatory framework, dependence on fossil fuels, tariffs, and the rollback of federal tax credits, but also the rapid growth in data centers.
Data centers use a tremendous amount of energy. Some of them, the largest ones, use as much as is produced by one nuclear plant, which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
But Dominion Energy disagrees. In a statement, a spokesperson said, quote, "This report is just factually wrong. For more than a decade, our residential rates have remained below the national average, and they've gone up substantially less than the rate of inflation." Dominion says it invested in reliability and clean energy to keep costs down. On data centers, the company said, quote, "We have also put in place some of the strongest protections in the country to prevent data center costs from being passed on to residential customers. Data centers are not the central driver in the increasing cost of energy. It's inflation for supplies and fuel." We know now there's new laws taking effect in Virginia aimed to shield customers from fuel spikes and prevent costs tied to data centers from hitting residents. For Shallow, who's just trying to keep the lights on, relief can't come soon enough.
I would love to see my bills not continually increasing. I would love to see all of these hardworking folks that I know not be squeezed absolutely to death.
West Virginia MAGA voters are now in frustration after their utility bills go high even more than their mortgages. They didn't see this coming. This is not what they expected, and this is not what they voted for. They voted for Trump expecting prosperity. They expected, low cost of living. They expected low prices of items. groceries, gas, eggs. But that is not what they are getting. They feel betrayed. They feel scammed. They are now realizing that all what they were promised was all but a lie. So let me know what are your thoughts concerning all this down in the comment section. Hype the video, give the video a thumbs up, share the video to a like-minded person, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel if this is the kind of the content that you really like. Stay safe, stay blessed. We'll catch up in the next.